Hello. So in the last module, we loaded up Python. Now let's go and write some. Well, how on earth are we going to do that? Well, luckily, when we loaded up Python, it came with its own IDE, which stands for an Integrated Development Environment, which is a bit of a yawn. But actually, there's a special one called the Integrated Development and Learning Environment, or IDLE, which is actually really named after Eric Idle, who is a member of Monty Python, if you don't know. Now, how do I go and find that? Well, this is one of those things where, depending on the operating system, it's going to be different. Luckily for all those people on XP, Windows 7, or Windows 10, you only have to go to the Start button, click on it, and you'll have a little search button down the bottom left-hand side. I've got to go over to another screen entirely, find a search button, which isn't even in the size for this particular screen, and within that field, type IDLE. So in your search button, if you just type IDLE and either hit on the search or hit return, you can see it's found it already. I can just select the IDLE from within this list, and it'll open up the Python shell. Now, what this really means, it's the Python shell. It's something that kind of runs a little bit outside of Python, but sort of right on the outside of it, and allows me to do work with Python. And we can see it tells me what Python I've got loaded up and where the version come from and other kind of bits like that. It's also got little 3 chevrons on here, which means it's basically waiting for something. And it works by saying, right, I'm going to read whatever you type, I'm then going to evaluate it, and then I'm going to respond. So this read, evaluate, and ultimately kind of print out whatever value it thinks is suitable is sort of what's going to be going on behind the scenes. So if I type 1 on my keyboard and hit return on my keyboard, it then prints out a 1. So read it, evaluated it, and goes, yes, that's a 1, that is. Well, okay then. A 2, what can you do with that? Yes, that's a 2. So you can see it's pretty impressed by me so far. All right, okay, let's give it a letter. I'm going to put in an A. And this time it didn't like it at all. It's evaluated and saying A is not defined. What do you mean A is not defined? A is a character. I say. How do I know it's a character? Well, numerics are just come as they are. Characters have to have quotes around them. So if I put single quotes around there, and then it goes, oh, okay, I see what you mean, there's a character now. But it's kept the quotes around it. If I just want to show some text, I have to use a special function called print. So if I just type the word print, and then I need to say, well, what do I want to print off? I need to put that within some brackets. Again, some single quotes will be quite nice within here, and close the round brackets. Now when I hit return, it'll go, okay, this is the text you want to have within there. What we're also going to have a look at is saying, oh, okay, A is not defined. Why? What does that mean? Well, it means that I can give A value, and A then becomes a defined variable. Variable because it can vary. It can have a different value in there at a different time. So at the moment it says A equals 1. And if I then hit return, it'll put the number 1 in A, which is almost kind of backwards way of thinking, isn't it? It places the value 1 into a space within the system called A. So it's a little box, if you like, with a kind of little temporary label put on there saying, right, this is called A. So then I hit return. If I then get A out, it won't say A is not defined because this whole action of putting 1 within A defines it. And then go, there's 1 in there, in that box. Okay, I think fair enough. If I say B equals 2 and hit return, I've then created another little box within the system, and it's put another little temporary label on there called B, and within that box is put in the number 2. So if I say, well, what's in B? 2 in there. Now I can do other little bits with this. So I could say, what is 1 plus 2? And it will evaluate it as being 3. The smart thing is that I know that within the variable A is the number 1. And in the variable B is the number 2. So if I can say, go to box A and retrieve a value from that, and add that to the value that's in box B. Now when I hit return, it'll go, yes, that equals 3. It does the work. Why is this called a variable? Because I could say A equals 5. I've now taken the 1 out and replaced it with the number 5. Now if I say A plus B, it takes the different values out and adds those together. This may seem like pretty small beer, but this is pretty smart stuff, really. And bigger versions of this allow you to create any program you like in the world. This is not a very good editor for working with. What we're going to do is look at a better editor in the next module. Thank you for listening.